Hey guys, Scott from Mooloolaba Music, and we're going to be chatting a little bit about microphones today. People ask a lot, why are there so many different microphones? What suits me? What am I using that for? What sort of application does each mic work perfect for? There's no perfect microphone is the easy answer, but they all have versatilities that suit some applications and not others. Really quick rundown on the three main types of microphones that you'll find available in everyday use. That is the condenser microphone, or a tube condenser as this one is. That means it's driven by a tube. A dynamic microphone, which is your most common microphone that you'll see. And then there's ribbon microphones. We won't go into too much detail there because these are probably the more that you'll use and see in everyday application, live or in the studio. You will see ribbons around the studio. They're a lovely microphone, very delicate, very fragile, so you don't see a lot of them in the live application. Let me start with handheld microphones. So, why are there so many different types of handheld microphones? The most important thing to remember is that they all generally have a different pickup pattern. Now, what does that mean? So, most microphones you'll find have what we call a cardioid pattern microphone. So if you were to take a snapshot of that and draw a little upside down heart around it, cardioid, that describes the pickup pattern of the microphone. So the point of rejection, where it isn't picking up sound, is at the back here. Whereas the majority of the microphone pickup is around this area here. The next microphone we see is a supercardoid, which means the pattern is a little narrower. That means the rejection is a little further around the side here. So you're getting less pickup from, when we're singing into the microphone, things on the side of the stage or behind the microphone. The next is a hypercardoid, which is an even further narrowing of that cardioid field. You'll find that a lot in shotgun microphones, which you see in film and television, picking up long distance throws and that sort of thing, where you don't want to hear what's happening on the side. So this microphone here, this is a lovely little Sennheiser. This is a supercardoid microphone. This is an 865, which has been the staple use of Sting for about 30 odd years. It's a fantastic mic. This is a condenser microphone. The difference between a condenser microphone and a dynamic microphone is that we need to have power to power the microphone's capsule. The capsule of the microphone in a condenser microphone uses electrodes to basically transfer the energy into the signal, so it needs to be powered from a console. So if you plug into one of these, into a console that doesn't have power or doesn't have the phantom power turned on, you'll get no sound. I've seen people bring these into the store and say, my microphone's broken. Not the case, we just need to sort you out with phantom power. So the other very important thing to note while I'm just pointing out patterns is patterns are actually shaped by the amount of air that they let into the back of the capsule. So the sound guy gets mad at you for holding your microphone around the base of the capsule. It's because you've just destroyed the entire pattern of the microphone and turns your $300, $400, $500, $600 microphone into a piece of crap. So, a couple of really quick mics that I just want to highlight. So that was the Sennheiser 865, really nice. Great on vocals, super clean. Another one that's super popular is this lovely Dynamic M88. This has been around for many years. Going right back, you'll see guys like Bob Dylan using this on their vocals, right through to John Mayer, Joe Bonamassa. John Mayer was touring with these on his guitar cabs a few years back. The DVD filmed 15 odd years ago now, Where the Light Is, you'll see Steve Jordan's drum kit is mic'd entirely with these microphones as well. Fantastic microphone, secret weapon for sticking inside a kick drum. That is the Dynamic M88. Just moving on to some condensers for studio application. This is a lovely SET2 titanium capsule condenser. This has what we call a variable pattern on the microphone. So I can actually shape this mic to be a cardioid pattern, a hypercardioid pattern, an omni pattern, which I'll discuss in a moment, and a figure 8 pattern. So those couple that I just mentioned, the omni and figure 8, how do they vary to your normal cardioid capsule pattern? Figure 8. So figure 8 pattern is literally figure 8 around the capsule of the microphone, and the sides here are your points of rejection. How does it do that? It actually uses 2 capsules in the one mic to shape that. And what that means is this side is almost completely silent to whatever is coming in from that direction. So we've done some filming recently, you may have seen on our YouTube channel with Taylor Moss and our fantastic Daniel Curry playing keyboards. We had this set up as his vocal microphone, and we had a little wedge beside him so he could hear his keyboard, and the rejection plane pointed at the wedge, completely silent to what the signal was coming through there. So very, very cool in an application where you want to capture something from this angle and not hear what's going on the sides. Also really cool if you're capturing 2 sources at once, like an acoustic guitar and a vocal. You can capture the vocal here, have the rejection point pointing at your guitar, and so you get a nice clean vocal sound with very little bleed of the instrument into your vocal, or vice versa. So that's a really, really cool idea. The other thing about those is I mentioned the omni pattern, and that literally means when you put it in omni, it picks up everything in a 360-degree circle. Very, very cool for capturing a group, for example, or ambience of a room. Just really quickly jumping over to this lovely microphone here, which is the Rupert Neve SE-RNT. This is one of the flagship microphones from SE. I mentioned it's a condenser microphone, but it's driven by tube, and it has this lovely, lovely power source here, which allows me to change the pattern and vary between several different patterns. So I can actually dial from figure 8 to cardioid to omni and everywhere in between. They call that variable pattern. And this is, as I mentioned, a tube driven mic, so it has a lovely valve in there, warms the sound up, gives you a nice rich tone. Great for recording in the studio. So that's microphones and that's patterns, and hopefully that gives you a bit of an understanding. As I said, not every microphone suits everyone. Not every voice or source sounds the same. That is why there are so many different mics, and we would love you to come down and chat to us here at Mooloolaba Music. We can find something that suits you, try them out, test them out. It's the best way to hear what works for you and your voice or your instrument of choice.